Sarah Flounders from the New York-based activist group International Action Center. Thanks for being with us this evening. The foreign minister was pretty clear. Moscow's trust is running out. Will this concern NATO and its mission in Libya?
Well, NATO has just announced an extension by 90 days of the criminal bombing of Libya, a bombing that has focused on attempts to assassinate Gaddafi, which is in itself a violation of every possible agreement, a bombing that has resulted in infrastructure, schools, and hospitals being hit, bombings that have resulted in an attack on a large religious delegation where 11 imams were killed and 47 were injured. So it has been one targeted killing after another, all absolutely criminal conduct by the largest powers in the world against an African country. And it's really essential that all of this end.
Well, Russia has agreed to mediate ceasefire efforts, of course, after President Medvedev was asked by G8 leaders to step in. But now NATO, like you said, has extended the operation. Do they even want a ceasefire?
No, what NATO wants is regime change. They want absolute and total control of the largest oil resources in Africa. They want ownership of the billions of dollars, more than $70 billion, that Libya holds just in immediate assets from those past oil and gas sales. They want control of the whole infrastructure. None of this is about a humanitarian defense of the people of Libya, of any group in Libya. It really is piracy on an international scale. It's like a massive holdup of an entire country, and it's a return to colonial brigandage of 100 years ago.
Now, back in the U.S., there's talk in the Congress criticizing the intervention in Libya. Do you think this operation, because it's slowly becoming unpopular at home, will make any difference in the action that's taking place in Libya?
Well, certainly the U.S. is determined to continue, although this is also in violation of the U.S. War Powers Act. And that is important because that was from past the huge opposition against the Vietnam War, where the president took the country to war, a war that lasted years and years and led to millions of deaths in Vietnam and 50,000 U.S. military deaths. Here we are in the third war, between Iraq and Afghanistan and now into Libya, and absolutely no discussion with the people of the U.S. or with the Congress. It's a violation of the War Powers Act. It's illegal. And there is really strong demands that Congress play the role which they are elected to play.
Pressure is also mounting on Syria, although Russia has said it won't back another intervention. Do you think NATO countries will take action anyway? And what do you think the consequences of something like that would be?
Well, it's important to recognize that the U.S. is already taking action in Syria, that there is a real destabilization going on, that for years there has been sanctions on Syria, that Syria is occupied in Golan by Israel, all with U.S. funding. So there has been, for a very long time, U.S. intervention, U.S. sanctions, U.S. destabilization. It's even been reported in the U.S. press, the Washington Post here and through the WikiLeaks cables, U.S. Actual intervention, funding of the opposition groups within Syria, orchestrating through satellite programs, through Facebook, through a lot of social networking programs, doing everything they can to aid an opposition to destabilize the country. Now, Syria, like every country, has problems, internal problems that must be dealt with. And the country must absolutely take the time, as they themselves acknowledge, but that must be without foreign imperialist intervention, and that's what's going on now. But real intervention from the outside, attempting to destabilize Syria and attempting to set the groundwork for another disruption within the region.